That's interesting. Okay, there we go. New updates to the software sometimes causes more problems than it's worth. Robert Imbriali with you today. We didn't plan on doing a show today, but I got a phone call from Lewis about 40 minutes ago, and he said we have to go live. We have some information to share about the hurricane relief efforts in Florida. So he's going to be joining us in just a couple of minutes here, just waiting for him to pop up. I have my Zoom window open, and as soon as he is able to log in, I know he was driving and they're between locations, so probably just looking for a good place to stop and get an internet connection to pop in. We always say that we're here for you guys and we're going to come live, as quickly as we possibly can. My thinking is, hey, I've got the studio and it'll be 15 minutes before I can go live. Well, that was put to the test today because I was out and we got home and literally, I'm going to say 16 minutes before 3 o'clock Pacific time here, and got everything set up, and here we are. We're live, just like that. Boy, yeah, there's a lot going on. I don't know if you guys have been following the Milton story, but this one is mind-bending, to say the least. And we're going to talk a lot about that with Lewis because he has also been on top of it and been following it, and it's just sort of none of it makes sense. None of it adds up. I mean, I have even, I've been posting about it on Facebook. For those of you who follow me, we had a great interview with SG Anon on Saturday, which I removed from the long stream and just cut it out. And I put it up on the Renegade Media channel on Rumble if you want to go listen to it. If you just want to catch that piece of it, certainly worth catching. We talked about weather manipulation, how long this has been going on that he can remember, and some of the tools that they're using in order to steer these hurricanes and in fact intensify the hurricane. Because if you think about Asheville, North Carolina, since when does a hurricane continue to spin over land? Right? Normally when it hits the landfall, what happens is it hits landfall, and that's the strongest point of the hurricane. And then what happens? Well, it's over land now. Now it's not being fed by warm water anymore. And it devolves into a tropical storm pretty quickly. Yeah, there's a lot of rain, there's wind, but it's not at all the hurricane it is when it's out over the open sea. So this one just didn't make a lot of sense. And like I said, I've been posting about it and putting that link up to the SG Anon interview as well. And it's funny because I have some of my friends who clearly not Trump supporters, clearly not into conspiracies at all. And they're coming around asking me questions. Now, what is going on here? What's going on? Well, there's a lot. There's a lot to this story. There's a lot more. And if you look at these kind of events, what you do notice is that there's never just one reason. Right? Never just one reason. There's always, they're going to use it to their maximum capacity. There's a lot of different reasons they use it, and they'll milk it for all it's worth. Right? Never let a crisis go to waste is kind of the thinking. So there's a lot of different perspectives. I was reading Fulford this morning, a very different perspective than all of us have been looking at. And just a shout out to Master Baggy. I know he's not far from there, and boy, he just got power back this morning. So, Master Baggy, welcome back into the fold. Good to see you back online. It's interesting and should be noted that when we're disconnected from the internet, when we're disconnected from power, or disconnected from our cell phone, or disconnected from wireless Wi-Fi, that kind of thing, it's an isolating feeling because we're so used to being, connected all the time, right? We got the tool, we're connected all the time, and we're so used to that. And when it's not there, I could see his comments. He's like, man, I was chomping at the bit to get back online, to get connected again with the world. Yeah, obviously. No, not a big deal. Back in the 80s, we didn't know, right? We didn't have this technology back then. But now, certainly, it's a bigger and bigger deal. And thank God for Elon Musk. I don't know where things would stand if they didn't have the satellite link up. I know iOS, there's a way to connect to satellite when you're disconnected from cell phone. There's a way to send text messages via satellite. That's new in iOS 18. And I believe there's something on the Android side as well that allows you to do that. Not quite the same, right? There's a lot of people in North Carolina that are able to. One lady, I saw her video and she said, I had to travel 40 minutes to be able to get a Wi-Fi signal. I think she stopped at a Starbucks, plugged in her laptop, and spent the next couple of hours there just uploading videos. and it's really slow because public Wi-Fi is not meant for that kind of thing. So it really took a long time. And she goes, I got so many more videos to upload. And she said, I just couldn't sit there any longer. And that's the case with a lot of people. Starlink is good. I think it's a great solution. I don't think it is the most efficient solution yet, but it's new. It's in its infancy. It's going to get better as time goes on. So we're going to keep an eye on those technologies and realize, my brother was asking about it. He's in North Carolina, but he's way out on the west side, away from any of the damage. And he was asking me, he says, should I get a Starlink? I said, it's a backup. It may not be a bad idea because he's with Spectrum right now, and, it's a land-based system. And, if you do have this kind of storm, and, hurricanes hit North Carolina. It's one of those things. They hit Florida, Georgia, all those, that Virginia. So, you're susceptible in that area to that kind of thing. So if that were to happen, the power lines come down, you have no internet. Well, if you have Starlink, all you need is power, and you could get power from a solar battery. So I had him get a solar panel. I actually got two of them, about $100 each. They're the big panels. They're not that expensive. The wiring, the controller box is about $30 for it, and he bought a battery. The battery is the most expensive part of the whole deal. And put the solar panels up, just lean them up against a tree or something where you've got sun, and you can charge up that battery, and you'll have enough power to power the satellite for several hours at least. So you'll never be totally without. So it's really interesting to look at your preparedness level. It's a good time to be doing that right now because, hey, we're in October, and there's going to be a lot of surprises here in October about what we can and cannot expect. The election isn't an election in the way that you and I think about it. It's much bigger. If they lose this one, they lose their power. If they lose their power, it's over because they know they're all going to prison, right? They know that, and they're fighting for their life, literally fighting for their life. So it's one of those things we're going to pay attention to, and pay attention to what is going on. Let me just text Lewis and see if I can get him up on a connection. Are live, waiting for you. Okay, just let him know that we're on the live stream. I mean, he knows it's the hour, so he'll pop up probably in a couple of minutes. Let's see here. I was going to share some of the Fulford stuff, but I want to wait for Lewis because I want his take on it because it is seriously out there. And with him, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't believe his stuff. I don't believe his stuff. Yeah, well, I'm in the same way. Some of it is viable. Some of it is so far out there, it doesn't make any sense. But he's playing at kind of a different level. He's kind of looking more globally than he is. We tend to focus here as Americans. We focus on this country and what's going on in here and in the here and now for us. He's kind of got a bigger game in play, and he's looking at it from that perspective. So some of it makes sense, some of it doesn't. But we're just going to keep digging, and we'll figure out where the real stories are. And it's not easy. I'm going to tell you. Lewis and I talk about this all the time. It's just not easy to do. Speaking of Lewis, I see Mr. Herms right here. Hello, Lewis.
Hey there. Just so you know, I just noticed I'm only at 3%, so I plugged it in. Let's pray that it works. So we'll get to the meat of the matter really quick, just in case I lose you here. I love you, Robert. Ready to go?
It's all you. You're on. You're live. People are looking at you and loving you.
Oh no, that's not good. So, folks, we're leaving the next hit zone. We're leaving Tampa as we speak, driving to a location that we're hoping won't be hit, and then most likely flying out of the country. We'll see what we can do. But anyways, regardless, firm.
Yeah.
I can tell you there's one place that they're storing them inside of a freezer because they ran out of body bags. These are confirmed. I can tell you there's also a confirmed forward operating zone that we have a bunch of helicopters to. I will not say where it is because I'm not trusting the federal government right now. But it's very secure, and they're doing a lot of great work. There's several other aviation areas. One known to everybody is Anderson, so we can talk about that one. And we are having a fantastic, and by the way, everything I'm talking about right now is North Carolina. We're having a fantastic response from the Scrooby Gut family in regards to donations, and in regards to even personnel, logistics, and so on and so forth. So we're working our asses off. I'm not on site right now, which is probably best actually, because it seems like I'm getting more done from the logistics standpoint and coordinating. So kind of pretty much my job now is coordinating. I'm raising funds and getting things to the right places, putting the right people together. And I can say it's happening very, very, very fast. The support is massive. I would say let's not talk crap about, say, a Walmart or an Amazon or anything right now. Wherever we can get the stuff to these people is what matters, right? So you digital keyboard conspiracy theorists, I understand where you're coming from. But right now, like I say often, if somebody needs a life ring and they're drowning, are you going to go check and see where it's being purchased, or are you just going to throw them the life ring? I think right now we just throw them the life ring, right? And the reality is Walmart just sent 60 fully loaded trucks into North Carolina.
Yep.
So let's just look at things. Maybe we're making a difference in some of these corporations have already been taken over by the good guys. I don't know. All I know is anybody that's working for the good right now, let's just leave them alone and let them do what they're doing. It's very important that we're saving lives. This is a massive tragedy. This is absolutely 100% controlled weather manipulation. There's no doubt about it at this point. If somebody wants to have that conversation with me on another day, I will instruct them otherwise, and they'll quickly find out where the truth is. There's so much evidence of it that we're capturing. It will blow your mind. This is not a conspiracy theory. FEMA being feckless is not a conspiracy theory. Also, they are saying they ran out of money. When we know where they spent it on the border, they spent it on Ukraine, they spent it in Israel. They say they ran out of money. But if you want to get $750 from them, you can. All you have to do is apply for it, make sure you don't have any insurance on your house, and sign a document that says it's a loan. If you don't pay it back, they can take your house.
Yep.
So there's your FEMA money for you right there, folks. So we are doing absolutely everything we can. I'm so proud of the Skrubica family, people like yourself, Robert, that you dropped everything to make this happen. So we were boots on the ground for a few days, working, tearing off drywall, doing what we can. And now I'm doing more of a logistics deal right now. And I'm creating something. I'm hoping that it will be very, very helpful. I can't discuss it, but I will tell you that I'm working with tons of people throughout the affected area from a logistics standpoint. I think we're going to make a difference. We already are making a difference. By the way, guys, thank you very much for your donations. I've already taken care of 4.5 full U-Haul truck fills of donations to people.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And it looks like there's lots more to come.
Wow.
So,
do you want people to send stuff to the same place, Louis, the same address?
Yeah. So no, we've changed it. So
Okay.
if you go to unitytour.us, this is one of our operating zones. It's a lady named Wendy Williams. And she will collect everything that she possibly can, and she's right there in the heat of it. And there's a distribution center right next to her.
Okay.
And they'll make sure it's not getting to the bad people.
So there it is there, Wendy Williams. Okay, I see it. Let's see if I can put that up for you.
So it's unitytour.us. And if you guys have trouble getting there because we're hearing some issues, just go to screwbigub.com, click on Unity Tour, and it'll get you there also.
Yeah. There's the address there. Ship all the supplies to Wendy Williams, 5436 Old Hendersonville Highway. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word. Pisgah, Forest, North Carolina, 28768. And that is on the unitytour.us website.
And you may want to look, I was recommending everybody to go to Amazon. Right now, Amazon is now delaying shipments to that address. I'm not saying it's on purpose. I'm saying it's happening. We just processed over $4,000 in orders a couple hours ago, and the dates got pushed back by a whole week. So I would look at some other sources on that list, or you can just donate money, and then we have boots on the ground. I have two people boots on the ground. One's an hour out, one's 3 hours out, that are filling up trucks and driving in there also. So if that's easier for you, you can just donate.
Yeah, if you're in the neighborhood, that would make a lot of sense. Boy, that's interesting with Amazon. That raises some eyebrows there, huh?
Yeah, it's curious because that was a great avenue for us. I don't know if maybe they're hedging their bets because of there's some traffic issues. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they'll get there quicker. We'll know in a couple of days. I just
Yeah.
placed the order today.
Wow. Anything else that's happening that is of interest? You were talking about FEMA getting in the way and pushing them back now.
Well,
We have stories of a
yes,
sheriff doing that in North Carolina, threatening to arrest anybody from FEMA that stands in the way.
yeah, and I just heard got information and have verified it that there's somebody from North Carolina. I have verified to be true or not.
Yeah, you're back.
So that would be very
All right.
interesting.
Repeat that last sentence. We lost you.
So I have not verified this because it's from a single source. I'd like to go to North Carolina.
Wow. I have a feeling that we're going to
So
see more of that going forward here.
yeah, well, I will just say this: if I'm right, by the way, I'm getting another emergency alert. We've had, I think, 12 to 15 of these while we've been driving for the last hour and a half.
Wow.
Because we're in the zone where the next hurricane is going to hit. We're
Right.
trying to get out of it.
Hmm.
So, anyways, the if I'm correct, and I think I am, we talked about this before, the reversal of the Chevron deference decision from the SCOTUS, I believe, emasculates FEMA. So therefore, they're not even a constitutional organization.
Right.
Not that they ever were, but they don't have any teeth whatsoever.
Right. They still act as if they do, and they're supposed to come in. Their mandate is they're supposed to come in and be of assistance to the local authorities, not take authority over them. And this is where they kind of got it wrong. They're a little bit backwards in their approach.
Yeah, well, I think they have a different agenda. I would almost say I know they have a different agenda.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stories about the Biltmore mansion and what was happening there in the basement, and the deal was to flood that out, and which is interesting.
Yeah, it's well, so Saul Alinsky has always said, this is their mantra: never let a crisis go to waste.
Correct.
And what that means is make several things happen with a crisis, not just one.
Right.
So we saw this with 9/11. The bad guys accomplished several things during 9/11. I believe the same thing during the hurricane.
Hmm.
You know, um, who knows what's going on? I would say it appears that there is a real lithium mine there. It appears that Kamala's husband is part of that. It appears that there is a crystalline substance of some sort that is excellent in regards to silicon chips, and it's
Hmm.
the only place
It's
in the
quartz.
world to
Yeah.
get it. If
Hmm.
that's
Yep.
true,
Yep.
this type, um, it appears that they're hitting highly conservative voting areas. I mean, there's just so many things that are going on here,
Yeah.
and so, like they say, never let a crisis go to waste. But isn't it interesting? Is they create the problem, but this time they're not even creating a solution. They're just creating the problem.
Well, the solution is probably to disrupt that election because they know if they lose this one, they're toast, and they're fighting for their life. I think at this point, and you're going to see, October is going to be full of surprises. I mean, it's only just begun. Tell me how a tropical storm overnight becomes a Category 5 hurricane. In
Well,
which world
yeah,
does that happen?
interesting enough, even national weather newscasters I've been watching are saying this doesn't happen.
It
We've
doesn't
never
happen.
seen this
Yeah.
happen,
Hmm.
and they're saying it. They're like so clearly the mainstream media uh, controllers haven't got to them because they're even saying, "We this is impossible. You've never seen it go from a tropical storm to a Cat 5
Yeah.
in I think it was about 12, 14 hours. It was just unheard of."
Yeah.
And so they're I think they're starting to figure this out themselves.
Yeah, I follow a few meteorologists on X, and they're really scratching their heads about this. Is that we've never seen the pressure in this thing drop as much as it. I think 27 millibars. It dropped in 3 hours, which is that doesn't happen. You know. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you're looking.
So
You looked at the
lasers and
track too,
seeding.
Lewis. You looked at the track, and you said the track is not
Oh
a
yes.
hurricane track, right? It's kind of all
Okay.
over the place.
No. So here's the way it works. So number one, it was created off the coast of Mexico.
Right.
Okay. These type of hurricanes usually come from Africa.
Yep.
So this was created off the coast of the United States. And in addition, I'm sorry, off the coast of Mexico. And what happens is instead of it tracking north like they normally, it started to track north and then it came down and then it went back up and then it almost went in a circle. And then finally, whatever happened, it pushed it down the path that it's going down now. And it even seems like they were trying to push it towards that one tip of Mexico where Cancun is and so on and so forth. See if they could hit that. That's when it became a Cat 5 right around before that. And then up and supposed to hit right into Tampa. This is weird. The other thing is, even if it did do this, the normal track based on other ones, it should probably end up hitting around Louisiana
Yep.
or the Tallahassee
Hmm.
area.
Yep.
But it's not doing that at all. So everything about this is an anomaly.
Yeah.
Everything about it's an anomaly, which is pretty scary because it's clearly manipulation.
Yeah. Yeah, they were showing where some of those HARP devices are. They're all throughout the Gulf, and they're all over the planet, all over the United States. And they explained it like a little bit like a pinball. It's like they put a little bit of energy here, it starts moving that way. It goes too far, they put a little energy there, and they can actually steer this thing. And this is technology they've had for decades, apparently. But now they're
Yes.
putting it to use in a very evil way.
Well, if somebody wants to actually see proof of it, don't take your word or my word for it. Go to AccuWeather and look at the actual tracking. They'll show you the previous tracking and they'll show you the projected tracking on this. And look at the previous tracking, what it's already done. And people will say, that's not weather. Look at the way this is going. It
No,
is
it's not. It's not.
wacky as hell. I've never seen anything like it.
And going from west to east too is weird because normally they go the other direction.
Well, there's only been one in history that I've seen that went west to east and even hit Florida.
Hmm.
All the other ones, and there's only like four total. They've all gone up and dissipated or gone north, right?
Yeah,
Only
NOAA
one
has
just even
that
hit Florida.
information. Yeah, and they were all
Yeah,
tropical storms. They were not hurricanes. None of them became a hurricane.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
So a Cat 5 in this direction? Mm-mm. Not buying it.
No,
Not buying it.
not gonna happen.
I've got a lot of friends in Florida who have been texting me, what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? And I said, get out. Just get out of the path of this thing because we don't know what it's going to be when it makes landfall. Even a Category 3 is very devastating.
Yeah, and because the challenge that you have. So this is what happened in North Carolina. By the way, for it to travel 800 miles over land and do the devastation that it did under Hurricane Helene, that's never been heard of before. And the amount of rain that it dumped over that time is astronomical. We were in it, by the way, when we were driving. We just happened to happen, but it was blowing up all day long.
Wow. You're frozen. I wonder if we're losing you here. Sometimes with the cell phone signal, guys, I apologize, but that's what happens. Lewis is gone.
I hear you too. I
Okay.
don't know if you hear me.
Okay, you're back now. You're very pixelated. That
Cool.
means the signal's low, but it's okay. We hear you.
I need to be pixelated. I'm unshowered and my hair's not done.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm barely recovered from the Unity Tour marathon myself, so it's just one of these things. And we always
Yeah.
made the promise that guys, we're going to go live. If there's something that comes up and something worthy talking about, and certainly this is one of the things that's right in our faces. And I have the feeling that we're going to be coming live a lot more often. So we apologize for the late notice on this, but it just came up and we need to talk.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Everybody needs to share this all over the place because I talked to several podcasters and other people, and surprisingly, they're all in agreement that our channel is the one that's being suppressed the most. Wow. And that wasn't me saying it. That's their assessment. Because what happened is when people went to the Unity Tour in Tampa, most of them didn't even know us. Or they knew us, but they knew us from other channels, not from our channel.
Interesting.
Yeah, that I did not expect. But it's glad that we're getting the support, but it looks like that's the only way we're going to get the message out.
Yeah. Okay, I will work on setting up the other system that I've purchased already, and we will have another channel that we can stream to. Hopefully we won't be suppressed there, and we can start building. We're going to put it directly on our website, so it'll be directly on ScrewBigGov is where you'll find the video going forward. And we'll also stream to Rumble, of course, and if it's being suppressed here, maybe it won't be so suppressed there, and we can get more of a following.
Yes, awesome. All right, Robert, I'm going to let you go. I got work to do. Got tons of text messages coming in as we speak.
Got it. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, and stay safe out there.
Appreciate you too, buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Talk soon. All right, Louis Herms out there doing the good stuff, making a difference. There's a lot to talk about. There's going to be a lot of information flowing our way over the next couple of days. I promise you. As this gets closer, it is destined to hit Florida on Wednesday, sort of midday. So we're going to keep an eye on it. Like we said, it doesn't make sense that this is traveling west to east. It's not the way they go, and it doesn't make sense that overnight this thing was a tropical storm and became a Category 5 hurricane, which is the top level hurricane. I've never heard of a Category 6. I don't think there is a Category 6. I think Cat 5 is the highest that there is. So it's a little bit crazy. And what we want to watch for when you have hurricanes is the speed of travel of the hurricane. It's not necessarily just the winds. If the hurricane's moving 20, 30 miles an hour, the eye of the storm is going to hit land and it's going to go over pretty quickly. It dumps a lot of rain when it slows down, when it's 6 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour of forward progression. That's when it does a lot of damage. So we want to pay attention to that as we go into this. It's one of these things that, it's an unknown. And because it's an unknown and because it's not, as we were talking about on Saturday with SG, it's not organic and or natural in nature. You don't know the damage that it's going to get. Best advice I can give you is to just get out of the way of it and let it do what it's going to do, and then we'll come back and we'll reassess after the fact. And I know that that's hard to hear. I keep thinking about the wildfires. It's not easy to leave your house behind and not know, things are going to be okay. But it's better to be alive than to worry about the material possessions that we know they can be replaced. So, yeah, keep us informed, guys. If you have any questions or anything that comes up, I'm going to suggest two things to you. Number one, I want you to go over to screwbiggov.com and get on the mailing list. The mailing list, because like Louis said, the channel is very highly suppressed and we're not reaching the audience that we really should be reaching at this point with the work that we're doing. So screwbiggov.com, and we will send out emails and let you know when we have another system up in place. If you can't get Rumble to work. A lot of people complaining that the Rumble app on mobile is problematic. It plays, it stops. Somebody wrote that the video stops continuously. It's not Rumble per se. It's just the app, or it's somewhere in between that it's being suppressed. We don't know. But just get on the mailing list, screwbiggov.com, and also get on my mailing list here, renegademedia.tv, renegademedia.tv. There's a sign-up form right on the homepage. You don't have to worry about the membership or anything like that. Anyway, all of it's free. We're not asking for any credit card information at all. You can sign up there, or you can follow us, and you should also follow on Telegram at Renegade Media, because we're posting stuff all the waking hours of the day, all the waking hours of the weekend. We're constantly posting on there and trying to keep you informed on what we're seeing as we're seeing it. And we appreciate all the comments and people sharing their thoughts and other people putting information up as well that you find. So anything you have, send it to us, robert@renegademedia.tv, or just reply to any of the posts on the Renegade Media Telegram channel, and you could post things in there as well, and I will see them because I see all of them. I do spend time going through all of that. With that, I think we're going to wrap up for today. This was not a planned, presentation or show, not a full show the way we normally do it. But I want to let you know that we're committed to this, and if we have reason to come back tomorrow, we will. The plan was that we were going to take this week off to kind of recover from the Unity tour. We did a lot of streaming. I did more than 50 shows, and some of them were very early in the morning for me. And the days where I was muted and you couldn't hear me, that's because I wasn't awake yet. I didn't push all the right buttons. But it's just one of these things we go through, and we have we do the best we can with it. It was a lot of effort on the whole team. I appreciate everyone who stepped up and did so much work to make the Unity tour what it was. And we're not done yet. We are in the crunch time. This last 30-day period, I think we're 29 days out now from the election. Whatever ends up happening, I don't think we're going to get an answer to the election on November 6th. I really don't. I think they will, we've got 2 ballots to count. It's going to take us a month to count these 2 ballots. You're going to have those kind of games being played, and they're going to be, changing the numbers and doing the games they play. We're seeing it all over the place. That should not hinder you from getting out and voting anyway. Should continue to do that because we're hoping to overwhelm the system. I don't know if that'll work, but we got to try, and that's the only card we've got to play, so let's play it. Right? Let's not leave it on the table and not play it because, well, that doesn't help. We can't win that way. So let's just keep going and let's keep pushing forward. Let's keep, keep everyone in our prayers because we don't like to see that people are in harm's way. And there's a donate button down there, givesendgo.com SBG3. You just mark in there for Hurricane Helene relief, and anything you can send their way would be helpful. unitytour.us. There's information on that page. The address that I shared with you before is there, plus a list of all the things that are needed. And you could order them on Amazon or anywhere else and just have them shipped to that address. You don't have to collect them and then ship them back out. Just ship it directly to there, and they'll take care of it. They'll distribute it from there. Big project. There's a lot going on. I'll be here in the studio, and like I said, I should be around all week. I don't plan on going anywhere. So when something pops, we'll come back online. And we'll talk about it and let you know what we know. And, keep in touch with us on Telegram. I'm going to be posting and things that I find. Because I'm going back in. I'm going back in right now to dig in and see what has transpired. Because I was out and about a little bit this morning getting some food and things like that. But, I'm going to get back into that this afternoon and keep posting. Thank you all. Love you all. And we'll see you on our next show. And I don't know when it'll be. But it's going to be soon. I have a gut feeling that we're not going to have much time off between shows. Thank you for watching. See you soon.